Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here. I'm so excited for these conversations. I'm super excited to talk today to Karen Blaine as she is a six-time author. Six times. Coming from three times, six times is pretty amazing. And I would say that she has just released her sixth book today. So I'm super excited to be speaking with her on such an awesome day. I love these conversations because I love the journey of the soul, the journey that really helps us kind of guide where we are going and illuminates our path ahead. And so, Karen, you've been on a journey for some time now, and you've documented that a lot in the books that you have. So I'm super excited to chat with you specifically about your last book, You Are Not Alone, because I think a lot of people get a little wooed out about that. So let's jump in there first, and then we'll kind of move up to the recent book. So tell us a little bit about your work and why that was the title of your last book, You Are Not Alone.
Okay. Well, I wrote You Are Not Alone, which is my most personal book. It's the one that related the most to me and me growing up and how I did feel different. I'm highly sensitive and I didn't understand why that made me feel so different. And my family of origin didn't really encourage it. They didn't understand it. They weren't like that. And also the external world around me didn't really understand it. So I started to feel like there was something wrong with me, and it continued on. I got married when I was 21 and my husband accepted me, and that was really great. But I had to refine myself. I had to understand myself. And that's what I wrote the book for. It's about self-love, self-acceptance, understanding why you're as great as you are, not having limits on your own. And understanding being highly sensitive can be a superpower and owning it and being proud of it instead of being shy and introverted and not able to share it.
I can understand that. So many people here that are part of the Together We Seek podcast have challenges as children because we come through with these really powerful gifts, right? And sometimes it doesn't really make sense of why we're on the planet or even the people that we selected to be part of our family. So, do you believe you select your family?
Not sure. Not sure.
Interesting. I love that. And do you believe that you know what you came down here to do?
Yes, I do. But it took a while. But I do. I think I came here to give the wisdom that I felt to whoever wanted to receive it, to see they are not alone, that there are millions of people like us. And it's good. It's not okay. It's good. It's great. And be happy about it. And so yeah, that's why I came down.
I love that. I believe that you kind of know what you're selecting when you come down because you're trying to bring out certain gifts or work on certain traits or talents. And I think there are a lot of people on the planet right now that are here to help illuminate the planet. And I feel like a lot of them find me here at Together We Seek. And I love that because I feel like a lot of us have had some of us have had tumultuous journeys. Some of us have had, interesting journeys. Some of us, it's taken us a while to find our gifts. And so when you think about your childhood and you think about the work that you're doing now, did they come easily, your gifts to you? Or how did you really kind of start uncovering the work that you were brought here to do?
That's a great question. So for me, I always knew, but I pushed it down. So I had four kids. It was a way to just worry about my children, think about them, don't think about me, don't go into who I am, because if I do that, somehow it won't be right. And so finally, about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I realized it's time. I have to go there. This is who I've always been and who I am, and I'm going to learn more and more about it. So, yes, it's a really good question.
And I'm wondering, 10 years ago, was there a compelling event? Because I find that a lot of people, there's a crossroads of some sort that really kind of forces them to seek.
My dad died, and that was big. Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. Yes. And he must, yeah. I feel like that is definitely one of the crossroads. People lose people they love. They are, lose their job. Maybe their marriage falls apart or something happens in their family. And how did you even know like what to do? How did you even know how to start the process of seeking?
So for me, like you said, it was almost as if there was a divine light. I felt it sort of open. And at 3 a.m. every morning, I started writing. Weird, strangest thing, right? And every morning I would write. And it was almost as if I was told to stop after the six. It was like, okay, you're done. So yeah, I felt a actual opening and then almost a creativity pouring through me. I know
Uh,
that sounds probably bizarre, but
Not
it's
at
true.
all. You're talking to another author that I feel like I work in conjunction with the universe when I'm writing. Things just flow so naturally. And I go back and read my books. I'm like, wow, was that me? How did that work? But I feel like it's really divine creation.
I would love to read one of your books.
Oh, yes, same. So tell me a little bit about You Are Not Alone in regards to you wrote it for yourself. It's the most vulnerable book you wrote. It's the most vulnerable book you wrote. And when I first read the title, I was thinking it had to do with spiritual beings around us, but then I learned that there are many of us out there. So how did you come up with the title and what do you think people can benefit from the book?
I think that, well, I feel like I'm an empath, which means for me, not necessarily though a spiritual empath. Like I don't really feel like I can talk to others in other dimensions. Wish I could. But I do feel like the minute, give me 5 seconds with the aura of a person, and I hate to say this, but I got it. And so I do feel, but what happens is I can get very overwhelmed. And this book isn't for empaths, but it's for people who are like me. And 80% of the population, believe it or not, are extroverts. 20% are introverts. So if I go to a party or something like that, this book shows how to like reframe your whatever's going on if you're getting overwhelmed and look at it and ask yourself, why am I getting so overwhelmed? What is happening here? Put yourself maybe in a private spot. And there's little techniques you can do throughout the book to help. But it is for people who are more similar to me. So it is giving a smaller amount of people, but that's okay. If I help, I don't care how many people I help, but if I help some people, then that's amazing.
Mm, that's how I feel. I can totally resonate with you. You put it out there to be helpful, and however it may help, that's amazing. And you talk a lot about self-love and the conversations we have with ourselves, self-acceptance, and why is that such a big piece of this work?
Yeah, I think it's the key to everything. I think it's the key to being able to be resilient, being authentic. I think it's the key to gratitude, to staying optimistic. It's just if you love yourself and you really start to feel it, and there are techniques in the book. They're more like mantras and affirmations and mindfulness, those kind. But if you can do that, you and you tell yourself every day that you are amazing. You are more than good enough. You will start to believe it, and that will help you to get through another day and not look at it. And in the book, it talks about optimists versus negatives because negative optimists versus um, pessimists. That's right. And it's very important to stay optimistic. So you turn that around because staying optimistic keeps you resilient, keeps you in that self love space.
Yes, I love that. And I listen a lot to shorts on YouTube, and I really resonate with Louise Hay. And Louise always says, if something comes your way that maybe you don't feel is great or not in the best light, whether your car breaks down or you lose your wallet or something else. She says, I'm okay. I am filled with love. This is happening for the this is happening for my higher self, and the best solutions will come forward.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, I'm rephrasing, but it really is how you approach things and how you allow yourself to elevate above it.
That's totally right. And if I could jump in, it's kind of like if you fail and saying failure is growth. It's growth in disguise, right? Okay, failure means you're going to grow from that and be better than ever. You're going to be, like she said, elevated, right? It's going to help you. So look at it that way. I have begun to every time. I don't
Yes, and
say I'm perfect.
it's a lesson, and I feel like some of the journey is really accepting yourself for who you are and where you're at. And I think for a lot of us it comes down to frequency. I always say, like, what radio station are you at? And is that the radio station you want to be at, or do you want to go to that higher radio station? So if you're at 96.7, how do you get to 98.1? And a lot of it starts with how you talk to yourself. That's like one big component of your frequency, and you could be the sweetest, kindest person on the outside and helping people across the parking lot and in life, but if you're going around beating the crap out of yourself, that impacts your frequency.
And that's the negative self looping. And you can do that if you're alone and you start to do that and you go down that rabbit hole. That's what I call it. It's so unhealthy. So you got to stop it to stay on your frequency. And the same thing you said, you've got to just stop it and say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going down these negative loops anymore. You just,
Yes.
the more you believe in yourself, the less you'll want to do that, I think.
And I believe that really leaning into a higher existence and why you're on the planet, for me, that was really the pathway that allowed me to say, you know what I see on the 3D level, there's more to it. I have more going on around me. And that has helped me really not be so difficult and with myself and not so judgy.
That's right. That's wonderful. That
And
has,
I see that in your recent book that came out this week, which is so exciting. You talk a lot about perfectionism, and I think perfectionism is one of our biggest hangups, especially for women. So can you talk about how your book You Are Not Alone has then evolved into this latest book?
yes. So the illusion of perfection again had something to do with a girlfriend of mine, but I'm not going to go there. It's just that there are so many people. It started off with there's so many people who say they had everything. So why are they so, messed up or this or that? And everything from the external isn't everything from the internal. In fact, it has nothing to do with or the other. So that started the whole process. And then the more I went, the more I realized it pertained to a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us. And it is an illusion, right? We cannot be perfect and we should not want to be perfect. It's impossible. We're humans. So, yeah. And I started to write about it. It got very, I'll send you a copy.
I would love that. I would love that. Since it's brand new, it's so exciting. But I also write about perfectionism. I used to call it perfection. I call it perfectionism. But the whole idea is that society has set us up as we're not yet perfect. Yet in spiritual reality, we are already perfect. And so allowing yourself to shift to your spiritual self and not your human self, I think first takes a ton of work. I would say I've been on this journey for a while, and I've been
Um,
seeking through different energy practitioners, books, podcasts, discussions, retreats, because you have to like peel off so many layers that have been added since we've been a child that we almost have to deconstruct to really figure out who am I really and why am I really here?
I agree totally. And I'm so proud of you for taking those journeys. That's really great.
Well, like you, I was at a crossroads and I just felt like I just got to a point where I'm like, what is this all for? Why am I doing all this? a lot of things started breaking down around me that I really had to rely on myself in a new way. And that is what really was the catalyst for my journey.
I understand. And it's great. That would be a journey I would choose. I haven't gone there as much as you, but that would be a journey I would choose.
Well, I'm sure you've done a lot just reading through all of your work, and it's pretty impressive. And you've done hypnosis for a long time. I guess what are some of the things that seem to be true for more the masses, more of the people that you find? Is there any threads or themes that you are seeing in your work?
For most people, I think most people are, well, just from an external perspective, this is going external. Do you want to, I think most people are good. And most people want the best for others. I just think it's the percentage that are noisy and not and don't want the best for others that get all the attention. So I don't know how that works. But that's
Mm.
the external world. That's the news and all the rest. Right? I'm not sure exactly where you're going with that.
I just didn't know, I find, the work that I do, there are some general themes. And I was just wondering, in all the years you've done it,
Mhm.
hypnosis, have
Right.
you seen general themes? And I think your themes are beautiful, is that most people are good people that want good things for others.
Absolutely. I do think so. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My husband is the exact opposite of me in every way. And yet we've been married forever, 45 years. And, it worked because we respect certain things about each other. And we actually, and the things we don't like, we put it down. We just kind of don't make it a big deal because there's a yin and a yang, right? To all of us, and so that's how it works. And so, but yes, I mean he's so different than me, but he's got just as good a heart as I do. No one,
Mm.
no one would take that away.
I think that's so true. And I do think there's some noise on the planet that's trying to distract us from our own inner journey. And you can get really caught up in the noise if you allow yourself. And I think you have to actively decide not only how you're going to show up, but what you talk about inside and how, what you're going to pay attention to.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, for me, I can't really watch news. It's just hard. Do you find it hard?
I do. And when I was writing my third book, I just told all my friends like I need to stay at a really high frequency. So I really would like to just talk about really positive things, even though there's negative. I just have to really protect my frequency because, like you, I'm a highly sensitive person, and something can take me hours to recover from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting. I'm glad you are.
Yes, yes. And so you've written 6 books, you've had a very active hypnosis practice, that now you've moved on to other things. What do you see on the horizon for the work ahead, and really how do you feel about your work to date?
Well, I see just doing more, getting out, doing everything I can to get the word out of all of the 6 books. I do have a couple favorites that I have number 4, which is You Are Not Alone, and number 6. But those are my 2 favorites. But all the others are really good too. I like them. And I'm going to
I can
continue. I guess
understand that.
I'll finish what you said. I'm going to continue to promote them. And for an introvert, it takes a lot of, for me to be on podcast after podcast, it takes a lot of work. But it's fun. Actually, I've learned because it feels one-on-one. It does feel that way to me, that it's a lot of fun, especially being with like-minded people.
I love it. You're very angelic. Like I feel like your energy is very angelic. So it's very exciting to see how this has unfolded for you and how you've used your life as a human to share the wisdom that comes through you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I have tried my best. and I will try, I'll continue. That is my goal, to continue to try to share that. Mm. I believe everyone has a superpower. They have to just, find what it is, and it could be different things for everyone. And then when they do, use it for the betterment of man, or mankind is taking it extreme, but to those who are around you.
I love that. And, as we're ending here, I would love to know what you think your superpower is.
For me, my superpower is writing,
I
and
love
also
that.
going to the subconscious. I know that I don't know if that's a superpower, but I really love to understand the world like you do, from within.
Mm. Well, I appreciate that. And I do think that's a superpower, getting to the subconscious. I think a lot of people are, they have a lot of barriers and boundaries that have really conditioned them to use only their mind and not really all the energy and wisdom that's available to them. So your skill set, your books, the way you move through the world allows people to shed some of the energy and barriers that they've collected along the way, to really dive deep into the work that they're here to do, and more importantly, to love themselves through the process.
Right, right. Now, I think your superpower is what you're doing, right?
Um, I love it. I love being a catalyst to activate the bridge between the humanness and the spiritual worlds,
Right.
that
Yeah,
give us toolkits and access to information that makes our journey as a human more fluid.
I love that. I love that.
Hmm. Well, I love these conversations too, because I think it takes all kinds. And the reason I have these conversations is for people to see themselves through other people's journeys. And the fact that, a lot of this just sort of has come forward for you in the last, decade or so. And I think it's so important for people to know that there's no endpoint. It's just a continuation. And where you tap in, and whenever you tap in, you can share your gifts with the world.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I totally agree.
So, in closing, all of your URLs and links are below. We'll make sure we highlight your latest book here, which I'm super excited about. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
Just that I agree with you. I do believe in a spiritual dimension, and I'm not sure what I believe in different parts to it, and I'm not sure what that looks like. So that's how I'll end it, is that my books stop, but I don't go into that spiritual realm.
Hmm,
But
not
I
yet.
do deal with everything that's we might be feeling on here on this planet.
That's fantastic, because we all need different ways to start the journey. And I feel like if the book crosses someone's hands, if one of these interviews, it gets people thinking, oh, I want to learn more about Karen. I want to read one of her books. I want to see where it will take me. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing, is you never know who you're impacting and how they reach you.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, this has been amazing to have this time with you. I'm super excited about your books. I look forward to checking out the new one that came out today, which is so exciting for me. As an author, those days are so magical, and all that work coming together is really spectacular. So, congratulations, Karen, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was wonderful to be here.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you again. And everyone who's joining us, thank you for joining and listening. We really enjoy these conversations, and hopefully they help you on your journey as you learn more about what's happening on the inside and your steps to awakening.